Just like March is an important month for getting a beautiful summer garden because we start most of our seeds in March, August is an important month for a beautiful fall garden. I hope these days you're busy harvesting all your summer veggies and some of your pots or spaces might already be empty or might free up soon for some fall crops. Let's fill them up today. The last frost date in the region I'm in is around the last week of October or the first week of November, which gives me about 2.5 months or 75 days for growing summer veggies, which is enough days for growing most of the veggies that we are going to talk about in this video. Also, unlike June and July, I'm going to sow most of my seeds in smaller pots rather than directly sowing them on the ground or in the final containers. I have 3 reasons for this. The first is that the garden is still pretty occupied, but I'm sure the spots will start to free up in 2 weeks when the plants are done with producing their fruits or when the cold weather hits them. When the tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchinis are done, I can plant these saplings which I'm going to sow today and do not have to start from seeds then. This gives us a better management of the small space we have. The second reason is that this gives us a good control of the spacing between the saplings while transplanting them. Good spacing is very important for the plants to grow to their full potential. But if you already have free spaces in your garden, then you can very well sow almost all the seeds that we are going to talk about today in the final containers or spots. Third reason for sowing the seeds in small pots rather than on the ground or the final containers is because the temperature is too high these days and it is hard to maintain the soil moist for the seeds to germinate. These are the spinach and beetroot sown last month, which I showed in the July sowing video. Hardly 1 or 2 of them sprouted, the reason being too much heat. If I'm starting them in small pots, I can keep them in the shade. Now let's get into the actual sowing. Let's start with the greens. I'm going to start a few lettuce variety. This is a cabbage head lettuce, which is a winter variety, and also the normal mixed lettuce. Just lay a few seeds, press them on the soil. Do not cover it with the soil as lettuce need light to germinate. Make sure to keep the soil moist after sowing them. The same way, I'm starting a few arugulas and lamb lettuce or Feldsalat, how it is called in German. The lamb lettuce grows very well in cold weather, therefore it is an ideal crop to start for the fall. I'm also going to start a lot of spinach, the green and the red ones. We were taking a break from spinach in summers, right? Because they don't do well in hot weather. But now is again the time to sow some seeds. It is also a good time to start some Asian greens. They do well in fall. I'm starting these 2 varieties of pak choy. The next crop is a new one for me too. That's Swiss chard or mangold in German. They are also leafy greens that comes in different colored stems. I've tasted them. They taste more or less like spinach. After all, they belong to the same vegetable family. I'm excited to see them grow on my space. I'm not going in detail about the basics of sowing seeds. This I've covered enough in several other videos, so do check out the playlist. I'll link somewhere here. Now we are done with the greens. Let's move to the root veggies. I try to sow the root veggies directly on the final spot because from my experience they do well when directly sown. Radishes can be sown all around the year and takes only 45 days to produce. Carrots can also be sown now, but try to get a variety that needs less time to mature. Usually, carrots takes 2 to 3 months, but there are varieties that take less time to mature. Choose such varieties when sowing now. Again, I'm sowing them directly in their final spot. Beetroots can also be sown now. I had a huge success growing beetroots this summer, and I'm excited to grow them again. Next, let's move to the cabbage family or the Brassica family. It's almost end of the season to grow veggies like broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower. But last year, I sowed a few seeds of broccoli in August and later kept the pot inside the greenhouse and I could harvest them in the beginning of this year in spring. If you are up for such experiments, you can try them too. This year, I'm sowing some broccoli, kohlrabi, and maybe also try some cauliflower just to see how they do in the cold. Kale can also be sown now and they can withstand the cold very well. I think they'll do better than other cabbage family members because we grow them for the leaves and not for any fruits. So we don't have to wait till the plant starts to flower or fruit like broccoli or cauliflower. Generally, Brassica family members like full sun and cooler temperatures, which makes it ideal for fall garden. Moving to the bean family, bush beans can be sown now. Since they don't take long to produce, this might be the last chance for us to get summer beans from our garden. If you have the saplings of all these veggies that I mentioned now, they can also be planted directly outside on the ground. You might have it from previous month's sowing, or maybe you can also get it from the garden centers. The last category is the herbs. I'm starting some coriander from seeds. They do well in slightly cooler temperatures than in hot summer from my experience. Also, we can propagate a lot of herbs like basil and mint from cuttings. I'm going to take cuttings of basil and mint and try to grow them indoors during winter. I'm also trying to plant some spring onions. These were brought from the supermarket. I used the green part and put their bottoms in water. Now they have started to regrow in water. I'm transferring them to the ground and see how they do. Since they do well in spring, I hope they also do well in fall. Let's see. I'll keep you updated in the monthly garden tour videos. With the summer coming to an end, do not think that you have to close down your garden. You can plant all these crops for a harvest in fall or even in winter. Only thing is, choose the crops that do well in cooler temperatures. Also, keep a note of the information behind the seed packet. This will give you an idea of when that particular seeds needs to be sown and how long it takes to mature and produce. Let me know what you're planning to grow this fall. I'll meet you in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next. Bye and take care.